Hey sword friends, I just received this package in the mail from Wazirabad, Pakistan. Yes, Pakistan makes swords, and this city is known for its cutlery and its cuisine. So let's take a look at this unusual item called the Tactical Katana from Pakistan. Alright, let's take a look at this. This was delivered by DHL, which isn't a package I see very often. I know they do it a lot of international packaging. So we're going to open this box up and see what's in here. Okay, here is the sword, wrapped in plastic. Pretty cool. So I'm going to carefully take this plastic off. Very minimal packaging. Okay, it's out of the packaging. Let me throw this stuff away and we'll get a closer look at this blade. The first thing I noticed when I opened this is it has a really nice smell of leather. Now, some of the leather that I've ordered from other swords is really cheap. I can tell that this is really good quality leather. It's embossed, it's hand stitched, it's thick. This is not a cheap leather. It's very, very detailed. It has this carry band here, and it looks like it has rivets here to hold it together on the sheath, so it's really, from what I can tell, extremely high quality. And then it has a snap here to hold the sword in, and it also has a belt holder here, which is quite thick. So let's unsnap this. Just going to wipe the blade down before I look at it. Now on eBay, this is modeled after a katana, and it is called a tactical combat sword, and it really is just a hunk of steel, and in this case micarta. These are some brass pins holding it in. You have 4 different rivets in here of brass going all the way through. That is not going to move. That handle is not going to break or come off. Now micarta is just a brand name, and micarta is made from a composite of like linen, canvas, paper, fiberglass, carbon fiber, and it's heat treated into this hard, super hard like plastic fiber here. And this is a good thing that they use for electrical insulation. So they use this in circuit boards, they use this material in hard hats. I have it on some of my guitar frets, on my instruments. They use this in aerospace propellers, gun and knife handles. It has a heat shielding strength and is a bit more resistant to electricity, this material, so they use this in electrical purposes a lot. So the handle is not wrapped at all, so it's not going to be, built for comfort or beauty. It is functional. The sword itself is 34 inches long, and the blade is 24, which we'll get to in a moment. But it's an average size handle for 2 hands, and it has this little ridge here to keep your hand from sliding up onto the blade, because it does not have a tsuba, so to speak. I like the 2-tone coloring of the reddish and green. It's a very attractive coloring here. It feels good in the hands. It feels solid. I don't feel like my hand's going to slide up onto the blade. And it has a pretty good balance point. It's a bit top heavy. Moving up to the blade, it's pretty thick. I would say it's about 6 millimeters thick. It is very sharp, and this steel is called D2 steel. Think of R2-D2 in Star Wars. So a D2 is a common tool steel. D2 is part of a category called high carbon, high chromium steel. Really good quality. They use this a lot in different machinery. It has a hardness range of 55 to 62 on an HRC scale, and it provides a good weapon combination of wear resistance and toughness. So this type of steel they use in like industrial rolls. They use it in punch and die casting because it has a really high resistance to scratching. So it's great for knives and shearing type of blades. As you can see, there's no bohea filler on here. It's just designed for shear cutting and slashing. The kasaki is well-rounded. It's got a large kasaki here. It's got a nice sharp point. Now I know that the disadvantages of D2 steel is it does hold its edge really well, but it's also very hard to resharpen. So if you have a 1095 blade, those are going to be easier to sharpen, but they don't hold their edge quite as well as this. Another disadvantage is this type of steel chips a bit more the longer that the length of the blade is. These are much better for shorter knives, but this might chip at some point. I'm not sure if you really were to wear it out and hit it hard. A 1095 blade won't chip as easily, but a 1095 steel blade like this would require more maintenance. You'd have to oil it much more. You'd have to keep it from rusting. This is not going to rust or scratch or blemish easily. It's not susceptible as much to humidity, whereas the 1095 steel that I have is more of a little bit open grain and much more likely to rust. And that's again why they use this type of steel for machinery, because it's really tough and strong and it holds its edge well. And the sword length is a full 34 inches. So to me it's like a small katana, above a wakizashi as far as length, and 10-inch handle. So 24-inch blade, 10-inch handle, 24 plus 10 is 34 inches. Nice hunk of metal. The balance point is more out here. Perfect for utilitarian combat. It's not fancy, it's not super comfortable, but it's going to get the job done. It's not the sharpest sword that I own, but it has a really nice blade on it for cutting. I may use this in some future tameshigiri, which I'm getting ready to do, just to see how it cuts through mats or something like that. I'm really impressed with this leather scabbard here. This sheath is really nice. I have several swords similar to this, but they're not from Pakistan, so it's an interesting make. And again, that particular city I mentioned is known for good cutlery, good knives, and an interesting sword, a katana shape. It's not a Nihonto, it's not made in Japan, but my gosh, they did a good job with designing this as far as keeping it simple and strong. You're not going to have to ever worry about that handle breaking apart. You could hit someone with both sides of this. Not built for comfort, but built for tactical combat purposes. I would recommend this sword for someone with a low budget. I think I paid around $150 for this. You can go on eBay and just type in tactical combat sword, perhaps micarta handle, something will pop up, or katana from Pakistan. Very interesting choice. I want to keep this in my collection just as something different to talk about. A sword from the Middle East based on Eastern principle. I love the shape. I love the dynamics of it, and I would definitely take this into battle, especially where you don't have to worry about it rusting as much, and it's not going to scratch as easily as some of my other blades. And this shipped quite quickly. I would say within about 3 weeks it went through customs and all of that to get here to Ohio from Pakistan. So if you're interested in ordering one of these, you can go online on eBay. Obviously I don't get paid for this, or I'm not selling them for this person or company. And you can get a nice tactical sword for your collection. So you have this beautiful D2 tool steel katana made in the Middle East. And for a budget, this is a good quality sword. It's going to last you a lot longer than the fancy katana that have more parts to it. Sometimes the simplicity of a design can be a feature and one of its best features. As a collector of swords, I'm very impressed with the ingenuity of different people to take an old design and to put it in new materials with different types of steels and micarta and make it very, very, very tactical, easy maintenance. You know, it's not going to break, it's going to outlast you and I. Something different. Ordering from Pakistan, I couldn't have done that 20 years ago. The internet is amazing at making the world a small place so that you and I, through commerce, can order something like this and have it delivered in 2 or 3 weeks. It's legal, it's good quality. Hey, why not? Take advantage of the rest of the world's talents and bring them to your door. So thanks a lot everybody for watching. We'll see you next time for more sword reviews. This is Todd Norcross for the Dojo Martial Arts. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.